This is Balance 4-7 again. How are you guys doing? I'm just here to talk about today. What have I learned in my life experiences, as well as you asking the questions as well. Like, what have you learned throughout your life journey? I don't know how old you are. And age can play a factor because once you learn some things in life, as you get older, you'll see some things play out, some things you might have heard, some things you might have experienced and kind of came back around and things of that nature. So, yeah, that's the question today. Like, what have you learned in your own life experience that taught you some things, such as we all was taught about karma and how what goes around comes around, you reap what you sow. And I think the anticipation of it is always going to be a distraction because the moment someone does something drastic, in your case or in my case, whatever we feel is drastic, I believe that we're just waiting for instant gratification. I think everybody does. I mean, we want God or whoever, whatever your beliefs are, we want that to react the moment something bad happens to us. And even something good. I mean, karma is karma, either way, good or bad. A lot of people got to understand that. We normally hear the word karma or what goes around comes around, or you reap what you sow. We normally hear those things only when something bad takes place, but it's not. It plays on both ends of the fences. It's not just one way. Karma is good either way. It's good when you feel like you've been vindicated in some sense of the word, or something bad happened to you. It's good when you know you've done right by others and good things come your way, and another vindication in that way. So yeah, karma is good in either way you look at it. It's not a bad thing. It's a lesson learned, because that goes for you even if you're the predator in whatever took place. It doesn't mean that it always happens to those who done things to you. Yours also come around to you. That's why you really got to be mindful, and that was something that I learned. You got to be really careful on what you want to happen to others, not realizing some of the things you might have done to others, and you're going to get yours back. My thing was, when things did happen to me, I always would look back. That was the first thing I did. I would look back on my life just to see what did I do to deserve it. I always try to, like I said, I'm a person that always looking for answers and want the truth behind it. And is it any logic in it? Does things just happen to be happening, or is there some kind of balance in it all? And that's why my station is called Balance 4-7. Balance is one thing I've been looking for my whole life. I'm still searching for full balance. I don't know if it'll ever come. And that's in everything that you do. Just like with diets and things like that, everything has a balance in it. Everything. It must have these things. So in knowing that, these are some of the things that I've learned as I've gotten older. I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to have known better. You know what I'm saying? So when I look back in retro of a lot of things that I've done, and a lot of things that have happened, some things I've learned, some things I've understood, some things are still a journey for me. I have a lot of issues with holding on to bad things that had happened to me. I think a lot of people have that problem. I mean, I often wonder about why people can remember the worst in another person versus the best in them quicker than they can remember the good. I'm like that, but I'm not a negative person. I can keep it to myself. I don't tell others about it. And it's just something that I do. I keep it all to myself, and I just be thinking nothing made sense. And I think that's where my struggle is, because will I ever find balance? I don't know. I'm still looking for it. Like I said, some things have balanced out. As I've gotten through some things, I've learned some things. I've learned the power of forgiveness. I mean, literally, it came to me like an epiphany, because it took me years to understand forgiveness. Forgiveness didn't make sense to me. Not that saying you're sorry or something like that didn't make sense. It's certain things that just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, why should I forgive that person when they did that? That's the first thing that comes out of all our minds. It's natural. It's a natural instinct. It's like, what they just did? I don't think so, but it takes more energy to hold on to such negative thoughts and things like that than it does to just actually let it go. But that is actually skill. That is not something that comes natural. It's not something that's very easy. It's not an off and on switch to it. It is a process. And you're programmed another way. They just say, just let it go, put it in the Lord's hand, take it to the altar. Whatever their statement is, they think it's just that simple. And the moment I go to church and I like, Lord, I'm a private person in church. I'm not the type to go up to the altar and let everybody see me. I'm the type of person that just sits there and just try to gravitate to everything that's going on around me, but at the same time, just trying to talk to God one-on-one. Which I found out that's not always the place to find him at, God is with you no matter where you are. Guys, I've learned that. That's another lesson learned in my life. Seriously, at that, and like I said, the power of forgiveness, and I did understand that it's about you when you forgive. It's internal. It's not external. It's not what you told that person and genuinely meant it. Actually, it's actually what you meant and you let it go. Reflects back on you and you released it. You just let it go when you decided to forgive. But forgive is a step. It's not like, oh, I forgive you in this instant. I think a person shouldn't apologize until the forgiveness is already there. I can tell you that I'm sorry till the cows come home, or you can tell me you're sorry till the cows come home. But if I genuinely don't believe it, you're going to constantly keep apologizing for the same thing. I've learned that. And I've told people that, why are you still apologizing for things? But I had to realize on their end, it's them that honestly haven't forgiven themselves for what they've done. And they just keep apologizing for the same thing. And I'm like, I've already forgiven that. I'm not going to keep forgiving it for the same thing because it's gone. It's gone in my life. That part is past. But that was them. That's how they feel like they need to go ahead and say what they need to say and get it off their chest or whatever the case may be. But in my case, it was already gone. But that was a process. It really, really took a while. Everybody should have a moment to themselves, whatever that moment is. I don't care if it takes a lifetime of a moment in order for you to get past certain things. If it's going to make you a better person, I totally will agree with going ahead and doing what you need to do to get past it, because harboring it and keeping it on the inside can fester and turn into something a lot worse. I do believe cancer, lung disease, heart disease, everything is linked to a lot of internal things that a lot of us don't let go, on top of the imbalances of diets and drinking and smoking and whatever habits we all have picked up along the way. Yes, I do believe that those things are contributing factors, but I believe everything is mind, body, and soul. It's all together. So if my mind isn't right, my body is not going to be right. These are things that I have learned in my life, truly have learned. I have learned I'm still learning as a mother. You got to really learn how to let go when your children get older. I'm not a dictator or intrusive, but when my kids tell me that they're having problems, I carry that burden. And I need to not do that. That's their burden. Whatever life they have created for themselves, they have to be able to deal with it themselves. Just like I had to deal with it. I didn't tell my mother a lot of my problems. I just was like that with my mother. It was just one of those things. I really didn't. When I look back, I don't really recall having someone I can really, really talk to. I was the type of person, whoever I was around, whoever I was close to at the time, is who I talked to. It's not like I can't look back and say, oh, I've always talked to that person. I can't do that, because that's just, I guess this just wasn't meant for me to always have those kind of people in my life. They like, what they call it, fly-by nights or in season. I had a lot of in season people in my life, and I'm fine with that. I don't need all that longevity when it comes to certain friendships, because they can get terminal, and I don't want that. I don't want things to get toxic between the two. It's bad enough I deal with other things that can be toxic. I definitely don't want friendships to be toxic too. And when all those things start crashing down on you after a while, it just feels like nothing is going in your way. And that's life. That's, again, life just building up on you. And you're like, I've really got to get a grip. I really got to get a control of all of this. I mean, it's easier said than done. I'm not going to say that. It wasn't easy for me. I can't speak for others. I do believe there are people out there that can just say things and, mean it and go on about their business. They about what they say, they about what they do, and they make it work for them. But me, it's easier said, like I said, than done. I can say anything. I can to give you the best advice. Will I always take my own advice? No, I'm not very good at that as well. I can give you the best advice ever. But my journey with that is when I give advice, it's normally something that I've already experienced, and I'm trying to avoid you from walking down that path. So I will give you that information and see where you take it. It's up to you. But if you keep coming back to me about the same information after I've given you the advice about it, then it's nothing I can do about it. It's up to you to make that transition, not me. I can't make it for you. And as a mother, that's a process for me in life. It's like I can keep giving you the same advice over and over. You're not taking it. You're not listening. You're not listening. I don't want to be one of the mothers that say, "I told you so. I told you so. I told you not to do this. You shouldn't have did this." I just don't want to be that kind of parent. But I find myself like, you could have avoided this when I told you long ago to do this. But people will say, "Well, let her or him, let them walk their own walks," and it's not a very easy process for me to endure as a mother. It's like, let them walk by themselves. Oh, no, they're gonna walk right over a bridge. I can't do it. But as a parent, I'm learning that. That's one of the things I'm learning in life. That's one of my life experiences as well. Just going through and each day to day. I'm a pretty simple person. I'm the type of person that I don't like drama. It was one thing I honestly say I avoided most of my life because it's not my cup of tea, so I didn't draw in people that had drama with them. Now, I've met a lot of people that had drama. I've seen it. I've seen them even try me at times, but no, it doesn't work like that with me. Keep the drama away from me because I'm not the kind of person. I'm not the kind of person you can just say whatever, do whatever, and it's okay because it's not. When you get me off, that means there was a build-up. I've allowed some things to take place, and then you just kept it going, and you kept it going, and I'm like, I explode, which isn't good because it's not healthy, and I've learned that. So doing my walk in life, my journey in life, I've learned to just say what I had to say, but in a tactful way, because I was the type of person, if I let it build up and explode, what's going to happen is it's not going to be good. It's going to come out all wrong, and I'm going to be real watery eyes. I get really, you can tell when I get upset because I get shaking, and it's like I'm about ready to punch and hit and scratch and do whatever I need to do to get this thing out of my system when I shouldn't have let it get that far. Instead of just addressing it when it first happened, like we're gonna nip this right now, so this ain't gonna fester no more. This is it. We're done. And that's a process. I'm learning to do that now. It's like, address it now. I used to do that on jobs. I was famous for the type, just being very passive. I had irritated other coworkers being passive. They told me, they said, "You're too passive for me. I can't protect you." But that what they did not understand was it wasn't their job to protect me in no form or fashion. But they felt that way because I was passive. They felt like, she's not going to speak her mind, so I'm going to go ahead and say what I have to say. No, that's not your call, but I kind of see what they saw because I'm like that. I'm very protective of people I feel like won't or can't defend themselves. I wouldn't defend myself. It's not that I couldn't, but I knew it was there. And I just kept letting things fester and fester, and then the next thing you know, things got really ugly all at once, and it's not good. It's not good. So it's best to address it when it comes right at you and just say something, regardless of how you think or the way it's going to turn out. Because if you just let it, especially whoever that is causing that kind of drama, if you keep allowing that, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to think they're going to keep getting away with it. And then when you do finally say something, they're going to be like, "Oh my God," they're going to shine that light right in your face. Like, this is how you are. You are a nasty person. And at that moment, you probably was really indignant and very, very nasty due to the fact that, they really pissed you off. But they don't see the build-up. And then when you go to, backtrack where all this is leading from, they don't want to hear you back. No, they don't want to hear none of that. Like, you should have brought that up then. So that's why it's really important to just bring it up. Just, you're like, hold up, who you talking to? Let's stop this right now. No. But you can be very, very tactful. You can use your words choicefully. You can let people know, I do not disrespect you. I do not take a tone with you. I expect the same from you. There's many ways that you can address certain issues in order for people to have to back up. Now, when they want to still get indignant, then okay, then that's just you just reacting off of their reaction. But you just gotta be mindful of people like that and just be real careful. And you don't have to tiptoe around nobody. You just let them know you just put your foot down and let people know I'm not your doormat. You will not talk to me like that. I have, yes, it's kind of like a bullying tactic, and a lot of people that do it, even as grown-ups, don't even see it. You know, when you're bullied when you're young, it's very obvious. Oh, this is a bully. This is a, but it's a bullying tactic amongst adults, and a lot of people don't even recognize it. If you're the type person that, and I learned this in my life walk, and you know, you go to work every day or do whatever you need to do, and there's always somebody in your face, and just for no reason, just, and that's what a bully do. They just get in your face for no reason. They might even get, when you're young, they get physical. But mental abuse to me is even harsher, like I said, than physical abuse to me. It leaves more internal scars that no one can see. And them invisible scars are dangerous scars, because those are the scars people can't see that's there, only you know it's there. And it's something in there festering, and it's causing all these like bad reactions. And now people, they putting labels on people with this and that and the third, because it's stuff in there that scarred them deep down inside, and didn't address it or get it out in some form of fashion. Some people don't know how to get it out. You know, I was always the type to search for a way to get it. Like I told you about the Lucinda Bassett thing. Anyway, I went to the doctor. I didn't give a damn. I would call the doctor on the phone. Somebody's gonna tell me something. I'm not crazy. What is this? You know, that's what I'm saying. Anything. And don't let people lead you to believe that it's you. No one can reflect who you are but you. You are who you are by whatever the fault that is. There are genetics, but you can break cycles. Especially if it's a negative thing that you're trying to break. You know, we have a lot of addictive behaviors in my family, and there's certain things if I get on, of course, yes, I am going to have some issues. I know this, and I have even experienced some of it. And then I had to check myself, and I knew this. It's like, you know, this runs in my family. You know, I can't be doing this. This is not something I want to be a part of, and I left it alone. It may took a while, but you know, I left things alone, and I just didn't want to be a part of that. You have to learn how to break cycles. And I'm the type person that gets away from everybody. I've always been the type person that I'm a loner, but I'm a social butterfly. Now I know the two sounds very, very different, and that's my life experiences. I've realized that. You know, when I'm social, I'm in there. But when I'm gone away from you, I'm gone. I may not even call you no more. That's just how I am. I mean, I may call you, I may not. I'm just like that. I've been like that my whole entire life. I prefer to be able to, because I feel like the world has so much out there that just weighs on us, even if we're not even doing anything. You hear it, you smell it, you feel it, you taste it. It's so much going on in our minds all the time that we just need that time to ourselves, and that space between, so that we can do whatever it is that we need to do to make our lives better. And I'm the type person, being alone helps me with that. Sleep definitely was a part of depression. It was a part of that. I realized those were one of my behaviors, my experiences in life, just walking through life, just, you know, I realized sleep was my only sense of security, so to speak. Because when you're sleeping, you're not thinking. Now, keep in mind, sometimes when your mind is very heavy load with things, of course, whatever you're thinking about, you dream about, you know, it can be very distorted. But you're like, man, damn, I even went to sleep, you know, dreaming about that mess. I mean, it's just so much. But that's part of my life experience. Is I've learned to like I said, I don't put my trust in man. Man, not only meaning a M-A-N name, but a W-O-M-A-N. You know, just people in general. I just don't put my trust in them, so to speak. Not like that. It's just, I'm learning my best to just trust God. That's my thing. That's because I realize, you know, when it's all said and done, is me and my beliefs one-on-one. Honestly, that's where it all ends up. You know, that's who we go to when things really get bad. And I never wanted to be that kind of person. The kind of person that only turned to God only when I needed things, you know. And I realized I'm really not that kind of person. When things are good, I find myself saying, thank you, Lord, thank you. Even when I'm in a totally calm moment, I find myself saying, thank you, Lord. There's like nothing going on. I'm good. Thank you. And I'm glad. I try to grasp all of that. They say gratitude is God loves people who's gracious and grateful for the things that they have. And I always try to be mindful of it. This world is a constant reminder of the things that you don't have, never the things that you do have. I don't know if most people notice that, but I don't care what you have. There's always something else you want, and it's crazy. It's insane for us. It's a constant cycle, and I often wonder, it's just a part of our mindset. Period. Is everyone like that? I'm not sure, but the majority of the people that I've seen and experienced and been around, yeah, we all are like that. It's always something that we are in need of. You can have all the money in the world and have a decent family, but there's always something else you want. I don't understand that, and that's one of my experiences just going through life. I'm learning, and I have learned about, and I'm still in a lot of the journey, as I said, but I am learning to, like I said, speak my mind. I am learning to just totally trust in God, not man. I am learning to be, or accept, let's put it that way, just accept me for who I am. And let me tell you, that is my hardest battle. Right there, that's the hardest thing for me to do, is to try to be myself. Because I'm always trying to be a crowd pleaser. I've always been, like I said, I'm a social butterfly. That's what I do. If I give a party, I'm the host. I'm making sure everybody in the party is comfortable. I better not see nobody in a corner looking shy or feeling a certain way. I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to let them know, don't ever feel that way here. You're very welcome. You help yourself to whatever. That's just how I am. And but when I'm away from all that, and I'm by myself, and to myself, and absorbing all of who I am, the hardest part is being who I am. It really is. I've always had self-esteem issues. Even when I would look my top-notch best, I felt I had self-esteem issues. Where they are all coming from, honestly, I'm still on a journey for that. That's one of my experiences. But just dealing with everything that I've dealt with, and just self-esteem issues, yeah, just being who I am, just feeling like I need to look a certain way or be a certain way, whatever. It's just crazy, but I'm learning now. It's slow, but I'm learning it. Yes, I am accepting me for who I am, and I'm going to just give it my best shot, and hopefully it won't defeat me like it used to. Because you waste a lot of your time in life doing that. You're just wasting time dwelling on things you don't really have no control over. And I've learned that. You really don't have no control over certain things. It just happens. And you have to adapt around it. It's like a prayer. I can't verbatim unless I pull it up with Google or something like that, and it says something like, Lord, guide me, help me change the things that I can change, and help me accept the things that I cannot change, that kind of stuff. And it's a very valid prayer, because that's honestly how we are in life. That's our life journey. That's really how we have to look at things. We have to deal with things what we can deal with, and things we can't deal with. Ask for guidance and discernment to get through whatever it is we have to deal with. And yeah, prayer is so important for me. And I'm learning that. I've always been, I don't want to say religious. I've always been a believer. I've always known God, been around, and God has been in my life, my whole life. Ever since I was a very, very, very young little girl. So it's nothing new for me, but it's always been an off and on process. And I realized that it wasn't God who stepped away from me. It was me who stepped away from God. I got upset when things were happening and wasn't going right at all, and I couldn't make no sense of it. I just totally stepped away from God, and it wasn't God that stepped away from me. And I couldn't see it at first, but as I gotten older and my life experience with it all, I realized he never left. He was just probably waiting for me to come back to him, and I had stepped away because I had really gotten really frustrated with everything. Nothing made any kind of sense, and I didn't want to keep. It was just a disappointment. And then people were throwing God in my face at the time, like it was a cool thing. And what I mean by that is that the people that were doing the wrong were bringing up God. So that really confused me. I felt like God should have been like right there and like, oh, no, you didn't just do that. you know. So I kind of pulled away because nothing made any sense to me. I'm like, well, I don't understand this. And then I got on them, you can't beat them, join them team. And that is definitely not me. I tried it, it does not work. And these are just some of my life experiences that I've dealt with. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you have any comments, or if you have any life experience you think you might have learned some good stuff, please share. Let us all know. You guys have a good day.